What's going down? How you doing, people? This is TK coming at you with another opportunity for you to expand your horizons, I hope. And let me put out some disclaimers, because I got a lot of negative people that like to follow me, and you always comment on my freaking posts as if that's something good to do, but it's not. And I just want to put a shout out to let everyone know that what I have to say, you don't have to take. You can always scroll past this video, and if that's what you feel like doing, do that instead of putting all the energy you put into writing negative comments. So everyone, take my information as free, or don't take my information as like it's not important to you. But I just like to shout out to you guys and put out some things that I look at from a different perspective. You know, people accuse me of labeling my opinions as truth, when most of the stuff that I put out is based on what I've researched and based on really what's right in front of me. You know, and things are so critical right now that you can literally see a glass on the table and somebody will debate and argue with you about whether or not the glass is on the table. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not stating a freaking opinion. I'm talking about the glass is sitting right there in front of you on the table. And they'll be like, what glass? There's no glass on the table. So that's the world that we live in. People have been lulled to sleep. The overall thought mentality is follow the river, follow the person in front of you. Everyone has no ability to think. And then when I talk about these things, there are other assholes out there that say, oh, you're being judgmental. I'm talking about what I see. I'm not judging people, and it's not being judgmental to fucking talk about something that's right there in front of you. You know, if you see a car accident right in front of you, it's not judgmental to say, I just saw that happen in front of me. You know what I mean? So in today's society, people just don't respond to common sense. They don't respond to anything that has to do with what is actually going on in the world. They believe every lie that television tells them, as opposed to what is actually physically in front of you. Oh, don't believe the fact that the rock just fell in front of you. That was just a rain, and it's a normal process. No, it looks like a rock to me. No, don't believe that. It was just rain. So that's the type of stuff that's happening. And you know, when I'm upset and I'm passionate about something, I use bad words, and people are like, that's not good. You know, so I'm working on that, because I like to make stronger statements. And some people say, well, you can make stronger statements by using collegiate words. And I don't believe that elevating your words effectively emphasize your statements. You know, when I say F you, you get that. But when I say it's very negative for you to express yourself in that way, you get people say stupid shit like word salad. What the fuck does word salad mean? You know, what does that mean? That you're not educated enough to understand the words that I chose to use to describe the situation that I'm presenting? Because I'm sick of people. I'm really sick of people. People are not worth the skin that they are in. You have so many negative, worthless human beings that have just been lulled to sleep, and it kills me. It really does, because I have to interact with you, and you choose to throw up on me, and you look at me like I'm supposed to like it. You know, people just walk up to you with their bullshit and throw up on you, and they're like it. Like, who made you God and told me that I'm supposed to like your negative drama that you authoritatively put on me just because you're in my space? Just because you're in front of me, you throw up on me, and I'm supposed to say, thank you. Yes, sir. Oh, I love you. You're beautiful. Throw up on me again. I mean, that's how people act. You know, and I'm not the personality type to get on my knees and tell anybody thank you for throwing up on me. You know, and it's my personal frustration because, like I said, I have to deal with you guys all the time. You know, and everybody feels like they're special. They're entitled to just throw up on you. And you're supposed to like it. That's the way it works. You know, it blows me away. And it's hard for me to deal with because, like I said, I'm not the freaking personality type. You know, I'm not afraid to tell you I'm not putting up with that, number one. Number two, keep your bullshit to yourself. And number three, live and let live. You know, don't impose your nonsense on me and feel like you have to harass me until I accept your bullshit. And that's what I deal with all of the time, people. I deal with those type personalities all of the time. You know, and it's surprising to me. It's not surprising because it's, like I said, it's engineered, but it's very overwhelming that no one is awake. It's like the whole fucking world is in this matrix sleep and you can't see nothing in front of you. And it's really just America or North America because freaking other countries are waking up and telling the government to go to hell. You know, you got the people in South Korea, you got the people in, you know, German countries, certain European countries that are rising up and they're saying, we're tired of the bullshit and we're not going to put up with the lies. Whereas Americans are like, hey, what's the football game? And that's the only thing you care about. It's like Rome is today. We have recycled in a sort of circular 360 degree. The world has evolved to the point where the height of Rome's failure is the height of where our society is today. You know, people are entertained by entertainment just for the sake of being distracted and having no personal responsibility for their life or for what's going on in the world. And no one really looks at history in terms of we're repeating a cycle, okay? And that cycle has a predictable end. You know, there's 7 signs to a failing society, and right now our society shows all of those narcissistic traits, and you know, no one's paying attention. So the issue is whether or not you prepare for the world that we live in and how it's economically changing to the point where you will be affected. You know, there's something coming down the pipeline. You know, I don't know what it is because I'm not a crystal ball person and I don't like to make predictions, but I can see, or I'm smart enough to physically pay attention to the various changes in our society that says something's about to happen. Number one, financially, we cannot sustain the plus $200 trillion debt that we have within the world economy without some sort of repercussion. Okay, so mathematically, there's gonna be an equilibrium because the bubble's so freaking big. Everyone acts like the bubble doesn't exist and the bubble keeps getting bigger. So there's definitely gonna be a pop because that's just how that works. That's how math works. Math doesn't go to infinity. You can't print money to infinity, even though that's the government personal solution to our economic status right now. We have no GDP. We have no real economic stimulus. And to pay our bills, we're essentially printing money out of thin air and pumping it into the economy, QE to infinity. And we feel like that even though the bubble is expanding continuously, we feel like there is no repercussions. And the average person doesn't seem to be smart enough to even fucking know what's going on. You don't even realize that paper money is losing value, that it's a negative liability, and that the governmental fiscal irresponsibility is causing the bubble to expand every single day. And people don't even acknowledge that. People won't even fucking talk about it, much less say that that's a real fact. and then prep and do something about it. So it blows me away that we're in the 21st century of the system about to implode on itself, and people won't even acknowledge that there's a fiscal problem within our economy. Cryptocurrency was invented because of the problems within fiat currency. So you have an alternative to cash, and people refuse to even think about cryptocurrency. How many people know what a Bitcoin is? Very, very few. It's still a fringe market that not many people participate in. So in spite of the financial cliff that we're on, you have people that won't even acknowledge that paper money is worthless. And it blows me away that people can be so, what's the right word? They can be so closed-minded, okay? It really blows me away that people can be so closed-minded. But all I can do is prepare myself, and that's where I'm going to keep this conversation. I just want to throw it out there because it blows me away how people interact with others, expect them to deal with bullshit, and not actually prepare their own lives for the massive changes that are going on. Something's going to happen soon. We're going to have some sort of massive false flag. There's going to be some sort of natural disaster, or maybe there's going to be some sort of major event to cause you to forget about the economic collapse. I guarantee it. Coming down the pike, because the government is not just going to let the economic system or let the dollar just crash. You have to have an event to blame the dollar crash on. You can't make the fiscal irresponsibility of the politicians be the answer or the reason why we are into the dollar crash. No, what you have to have is some sort of fire to point at and then say, see, that's the reason why the economic system crashed. So something's going to happen so that we can blame that event. That's the reason why the stock market crashed. That's the reason why the bubble popped. So I know that something's coming down the pike. I know it. And I don't know what it is. I'm not a freaking futurist or a crystal ball person. I know there's going to be some sort of major event to make you look left while they steal from the right. I know that's coming. Because there's no way that you can print to infinity and not have a repercussion. So to blame the repercussion on the event is what's coming.